Hello guys, this is Monday morning. I uploaded a video from Sunday, and I said in that video I was going to upload 3 surprise videos that I don't remember that I found on my camera. But let me make a disclaimer, or an apology first and foremost. If those don't get uploaded today, I'm sorry, simply because I'm afraid that I believe I remembered what was in them. And I'm not embarrassing myself, because I probably embarrass myself sometimes by some of the things I say. The one video, I believe I was really depressed, and I hadn't drunk alcohol in, my God, I don't know how long. And I think last December, the video I was talking about with me in the dark, I think I consumed some alcohol that night, and might have gone on the camera and started singing and crying and all that stuff. So that one may not be uploaded. Now the other 2 I'd have no clue, but I know I said 3, so there's probably only going to be 2 surprise videos, and they're from earlier this year in March that I have no idea, because I wasn't even making videos then, because I'd given up when the 10 videos I tried last winter, just the audio wouldn't line up because I didn't know how to do it at the time. So I know I said 3, but there's only going to be 2, because I'm not going to upload a video of me drinking and singing, because really last Christmas I was really depressed. Oh my God, you know, and it's going to happen again this year, I know it, but hopefully I don't turn to alcohol. I think I looked at the date, it was December 22nd, and I'm thinking I was really like just bummed that night. I was thinking about Christmas is in 3 days, I'm so lonely, and I think I went out and I scored some alcohol. Now I'm not allowed to drink on the clinic, and what and the reason I know that that's probably what that video is because the next few days after that I got in trouble for drinking because we had a urine test at our clinic. And in order to get the medication I receive, I have to provide a urine sample, because you're not supposed to take any alcohol or any illegal substances. And unfortunately, I failed, and the only punishment was, you know, I get to bring some of my medicine home on the weekends, so I didn't get to bring it home on the weekend for a month. So that's how I know that's what that video is. So I'm not uploading that. As real and as personal as that would be for you to see a lonely drunk man 3 days before Christmas singing his heart out and crying, but he's drunk, so I don't think that would be appropriate. Now if I start hearing comments, show it, not going to show it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And who wants to see me drunk and singing and crying? I mean, I'm surprised you guys even want to hear me talk about my issues. Here we are Monday morning, and I'm going to say this, because I talk about it not getting cold here, but I was relatively shocked when I stepped out of my house this morning. 48 degrees, which is not bad to me. I had on my shorts and my t-shirt, and I talk about wearing shorts and t-shirts. Well, what ended up happening was I stepped outside, and I actually was cold, and I went back in the house and I put on a hoodie. I'm still wearing shorts, but I put on a hoodie. I was like, okay, the only reason, if it would have just been 48 degrees straight up here, no problem. But 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts today. I don't know where this wind is coming from. It is quite possible it's from that storm. Even though we're down here in the south, though, the winds could be swirling around a bit. They're swirling around a big high pressure. So it is possible that the winds are getting some of those, you know, northerly winds coming down from that storm are getting pushed down here. That's possible. I don't see no other explanation why it's windy other than that, because of how large. And this is what this video is going to be about. That was the beginning. I had to get some a few comments out about what I said yesterday. Now this video is going to be about that storm. Being in Pensacola, Florida, I know a thing or two about hurricanes. I don't know a thing about a hurricane in the wintertime, where the temperatures are cold, where the rain's going to turn to snow, and it's going to be heavy, wet snow. You're going to have streets that are flooded, and then it's going to start snowing, and you're going to have this heavy wet snow dumping down into these flood streets, and it's going to make it just a slushy, dirty, nasty mess. I feel so terrible. For those people. I was watching a replay of a show they aired over the weekend on the Weather Channel called It Could Happen Tomorrow. And it was talking about a hurricane striking New York City. This hurricane is going to go south of New York City. However, it's so large and it's so like the wind field, and the rain that's accompanying with it, and it's supposed to slow down as it approaches the coast. And this is like a nor'easter hybrid hurricane. Now, the northern people are used to their nor'easters, you know, the storms that come up and, you know, dump snow and rain. They're used to that, but this is a hybrid. This is a hurricane. The nor'easters are a big area of low pressure dispersed, and this is like that, but you got a hurricane in the core. So you got the nor'easter, but you got a 90-mile-per-hour wind field right in the center, where the nor'easter doesn't have that. The nor'easter would be 60-mile-per-hour winds spread around the whole thing. This has in the core a hurricane, so it's a nor'easter with a hurricane in the core. This could be devastating. This could be the storm that floods Times Square, New York. The water, and the way that they're predicting with the long, I don't know, I'm not from the north, but I've always been fascinated with weather and hurricanes, simply because I lived it. 2004 Hurricane Ivan. It's hard to talk about, but I was in a home with me and my grandmother and my brother. And we were in there, and we had rode out hurricanes before. We were just, you know, in there, you know, we're poor. You know, we had a couple of flashlights, you know, had some candles going. We're listening to the winds howling, no power, no electricity. You know, we had a small battery power radio, but the signal to the radio stations were getting disrupted by the winds and the rain. So we couldn't really, you know, the radio kept going in and out, in and out. We didn't have a weather radio. And a big tree, because being here there's a lot of oak trees, and a lot of old oak trees. Well, this storm was so powerful. And where we lived at the time, we didn't live on the beach, but we lived about 15 minutes from the beach. And we lived on the outskirts of downtown. Now, from downtown Pensacola to the beach is about a 15-minute drive. So, again, we're about 20 minutes from the beach. So we were just on the outer edges of downtown is where we lived. And that's where a lot of damage occurred as the storm approached, because we were the first to get the full brunt of it. Well, let's just say that a big oak tree fell through the middle of our house. We were sitting, okay, here's the house here. This is hard to do, but this finger is the front of the house, this finger is the back of the house. Well, we had a tree in the backyard, and it came down through the center of the house, and we're up here in the front. And so the tree came halfway pretty much down, and it stopped, when it came down through it, the front of the tree is sitting right at the beginning of our living room. So it went through the whole back of our house into the kitchen area, because you walk out of the house with it in the kitchen, and you walk into the living room. Well, the tip of the tree was right there, our dining room table. It was right there. It landed right on like the edge of our dining room table and tipped it up. And we were there, and after that you couldn't have any candles. It was rainy, it was windy, and we had to ride it out. And this was a storm that approached at night. And I would have to say that it started early. It hit on a Wednesday, well, a Tuesday night rather, and into Wednesday morning. So, you know, this tree fell through our house at about somewhere about 11:24 p.m. and I'm a little off on the time, you know, you would think I would remember, but exactly the time because of how traumatic this was to us. But it fell through at about 11:24, somewhere in there, and we had to ride out the rest of the night until daylight. And this was in the summertime now, and this is when the days are longer. So this was actually early September 12th to be exact. And this is when it was still, you know, more daylight, and the sun didn't come up till about, I'd say about 6 that morning. So I'm confusing myself. This is crazy, you know, just talking about it. But I guess you know, usually around here in the summertime, sunrises are about 5:15, 5:20, 5:30, and it gets dark at about 8. So this was a little bit later on, but 6 o'clock is when we noticed the skies turn blue. And at that point, well, we noticed light, you know, the sky's lighting. It was still, the brunt of the storm had passed, but it was still the back edges. It was still windy. It was still raining. We had to ride out a storm pretty much. You're looking at, what, 6.5 hours in the dark with a tree through your house, with wind and rain pelting down on you. And there's nowhere you can go. Because you got a tree through the middle of your house. You can't really you don't want to go to that part of the house because you don't know what else could be damaged because you can't see anything. So we're stuck up in the front of our house, and we've got wind. We can't, go try to get into a room because we don't want to. Where we were at in the house, all the rooms were in the back of the house. So we knew we couldn't go into a room. So we were stuck up in the front of the living room. We were stuck sitting there, me, my old grandmother. At the time, she's 79 years old now, and this was 8 years ago. So she was 71 years old. She had just had successful heart surgery and had a pacemaker implanted. So thank God that she had that put in, because if she had had her heart problems at that time, she probably would have died. And thank goodness she had already had her surgery. So yeah, just imagine. And so I feel for those people. I know what they're going to be going through. And luckily me, my grandmother, and my brother lived. But there were people who didn't live through Ivan. There were people who didn't live through many other hurricanes. So this is touching my heart because, Hurricane Katrina, man, that was going to hit here. It was headed right for Pensacola, Florida. And boy, right at the last minute it turned and went to New Orleans, and I cried deeply. Simply because those people, man, it could have been me. And I probably would have died, in that one because of where we lived. Because Katrina was just a demon. But all those people who lost their lives in Katrina, and President Bush hates black people, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyways, I just hope that Obama doesn't hate people, and I hope Obama does the right thing. And I got a feeling this will decide the election right here. If Obama does the right thing here and gets a call to action fast, I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of rescues, a lot of water rescues from a lot of flooding with this one. And I think New York could be devastated. New Jersey's going to get devastated. And if Obama does the right thing here and calls to action and shows his leadership, I believe he will be the next president of the United States. Now, I did make a political video, and again, I apologize for that. But this is what shows a president's nerve. Not nerve, but I guess so. This shows what he's about. I think this will be the first major storm he's had to deal with in his presidency. He had Irene last year, but this is no Irene. This is a superstorm. So they're comparing this to the perfect storm of '91. And everybody, well, if you've seen that movie, yeah, that was an insane movie. So anyways, I feel for all those people, and my heart goes out to them because I know what it was like to live a hurricane, but I don't know what it's like to live a superstorm. I don't know what a nor'easter is, although I'm pretty sure it's like a big tropical storm, but with winter elements. And now they got a winter storm mixed in with a tropical hurricane. And wow, that's all they're talking about. I mean, that's all that they're talking about on news stations, even my local news stations. The weather meteorologists here are talking about, my God, we don't see anything like that on the Gulf Coast. We don't have winter storms here. And to have a winter storm, tropical storm, a cold core storm mixed with a warm core storm, I mean, geez. And luckily the storm started turning when it did, because late last night the center got back into the warm Gulf Stream and it started intensifying. And I heard a meteorologist on CNN, he was like praying on air that this storm turned when it didn't stay in that Gulf Stream any longer than it did, because he said that if that storm would have stayed in the Gulf Stream any longer, that it may have intensified and restructured itself to the point where it's a Category 2. And oh my God, I mean, this is only a Category 1, but it's still going to be terrible. Ivan was a Category 3 that hit us. Katrina was a Category 4. And it was a 5, but I think it dropped down to a 4 right at landfall. And they're comparing this to be stronger than those. So, because of nor'easter and the winter element. So, again, my heart goes out to all you people. If you're dealing with this, experiencing it, I feel for you. Because I feel your pain, because I've lived it. And I hope everyone is okay up there. And for those who pass away, and the families who lose loved ones during this storm, I just couldn't imagine what would have happened if I would have lost someone during one of these storms, or if I wasn't here today. I mean, I'd be dead, of course, but it's just one of those things I had to talk about today, and It's not about my issues today. It's about those people. And anyone who watches my videos, if you don't, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to donate to the disaster relief fund for this one. I'm not going to donate a lot of money because I don't have it, but open your wallets, open your hearts, and you know, just if you only donate $5, you know, that helps a family who is going to be displaced by the storm, because a lot of families are going to be displaced. I was displaced by Hurricane Ivan, and thankfully for us, you know, we had to move into a FEMA trailer temporarily, and then my grandmother said in the last video got a settlement when a city bus hit her that afforded us 2 trailers, and she bought one for me and one for her because my brother had moved away. So for a while there we lived in one of those FEMA trailers, and those are small. So a lot of people are going to have to live in these, you know, small FEMA trailers. So me, my brother, and my grandmother had to cramp into a small FEMA trailer. And I knew of families, you know, that had, you know, 3 or 4 kids and 3 adults living, and there was like 7 people in one of those things. So I know, and there's a lot of people up there that are like that, big families up in the Northeast. And I don't know if the FEMA trailers have changed. I doubt it. But, you know, the temporary FEMA trailers are very small. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go online and search temporary FEMA trailer. You'll see what I'm talking about, how small. And imagine 3 people living in it. Well, imagine 7. I couldn't have imagined any. Me and my brother, we couldn't even move. I mean, we could move, but we were just like, it's like we were always together. I mean, we're family, but we didn't always want to be together. But due to the circumstance, we were just happy to be alive. So that's all for today. And again, if you don't have a lot of money, even $1 helps. You know, just keep them in your thoughts. You know, today, 'cause those people are about to go through hell. And if you're one of those people that are my subscribers, of my few subscribers that are from that area, holler back at me. Let me know what it's like, what's going on. Send me a message. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you know, the conditions are where you're at, if you happen to be, or anybody that watches this video, because I'm going to put in the title, you know, message to Hurricane Sandy victims, and or this and that, so maybe more people might get to this video. But I'm hoping that more people from that region get to my video and hear what I'm saying, and wishing you well. And I'm going to donate what I can, and hopefully you'll be able to watch this video. And again, this is Conversations with a Loner. My name is Chris Strickland, and this isn't about me today. This isn't about my depression. It's not about my anxiety or my mental issues or my troubled life. This is about people who are about to be displaced and lose lives and go through one of the worst storms they're probably ever going to see in their lifetime. And there's no hype here. I don't believe that. Some idiot earlier this morning was talking about, oh, this storm is overhyped, and I forget where I saw that, but there was some guy on one of my local stations here. Well, it's not really local, but it was on a talk show called The Talk. Not The Talk, but I'm trying to think, but it's on one of my local stations, but it's a nationally syndicated talk show in the morning. I'm not too sure of the name of it. I was just flipping through and I just stopped on it. And this guy was talking about, oh, they're overhyping it. It's falling apart. It's not a superstorm, and that's an idiot. That is an idiot right there. These guys would not be talking as serious about it as they are for the last week if they didn't feel in their hearts that this was going to be bad. So that's just my belief. And again, I don't know the name of that show. I know it was just some nationally syndicated talk show that probably airs on local TV stations. But I think I'm gonna look into it and see what it is, because I'd like to know the guy's name and who he is. It was like a big dude, and he had spiky blonde hair, and he's sitting there like, no, you know, I used to be a meteorologist, and now I'm a talk show host, and you know, this is not that bad of a storm. They're overhyping it, and you know, they're using their, these people are just, they're scaring people, and bull crap.